Yeah, high school sweethearts.
Not many people get to say that, right?
No, not a lot of us.
And a lot of people that are high school sweethearts usually at each other's throats and shit by now. But, we're good, right?
How long have we been together?
I don't know.
So let me get this straight. The correctional officer is your sister.
Yes.
So you do know his sister from Pilot.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Well, I knew her from before because I know him from high school. But yeah.
All right. Sounds good.
Yeah. So, hey, guys. Welcome back to the podcast.
We started, by the way.
Yeah, we started.
Oh,
I like to catch you off guard, bro, because then now you're not nervous. You're like, oh, it already started.
No, it's all
you know, when you get a little bit, you give the baby shots and stuff. You're like, oh, I didn't feel anything. See, you didn't even know it started, bro. But hey, guys, welcome back to the podcast. It's glad to be back. Get in the rhythm of things. But
I'm liking this Thursdays.
Yeah, no, me too, dude. We've got football in front of us again, dude. It feels right, man.
Yeah, I do like seeing football. I mean, last time I wasn't really watching it, but I knew it was there, so at least I could keep update with the score. Like, I'm like, oh, okay, they're winning.
Yeah, man. So it's nice. So you want to go ahead and introduce our guest today?
Absolutely. Our guest today is Jesus, a good friend of mine. He works for YARA. YARA International?
Well, yes, YARA North America, but
YARA
YARA International is the big company. Yeah.
Okay. And we're gonna dive a little bit into that. I met Jesus at where I currently work right now. We work together for a few years. Great experience, great guy. Enjoy having him here. Enjoy having him as a friend. So he's here today. Hey, did we get that clapping thing?
No, we didn't.
Yeah.
Sorry. I can.
It's like artificial clapping noise.
Yeah. You're gonna try it? Yeah, I did. No.
Sorry, guys.
No, I'm sorry. Maybe next week.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe next week. So yeah, let's get started. So Jesus, you currently work at YARA.
That's correct.
Correct. What do you do there, and what is your title?
So I'm an agronomy specialist. I work in the market development team, which pretty much means that I'm not directly selling stuff, but we're kind of tasked as a team to, I guess, build demand for the products or for the solutions that we're trying to offer commercially, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Can you go a little bit in more depth? So you're part of the marketing team, right?
Yeah, market development.
You're not a sales guy.
No.
Okay. I know you've always strived to not be a sales guy.
I hate sales.
Yeah. I remember that part. You develop, and if I'm understanding correctly, you guys are helping develop, is it like fertilizers?
So let's take a product, for example. I know a lot of the listeners probably don't know what these products are going to be, but you understand Can 17.
Okay.
For example.
What is Can 17 for Ed?
Actually, let's take it one step back. So what is YARA? What do they specialize in? I've never even heard of that company before.
It's a fertilizer manufacturer from Norway.
Okay. Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Okay. So fertilizer company that specializes in a certain type of fertilizer, or is it just all different types?
So we have a couple of different types, but the one that we concentrate on here in in California or on the West Coast is calcium nitrate or Can 17. Mm-hmm. Other types of nitrate fertilizers, Can 23. We also have urea-based fertilizers, stuff like that.
Okay, and these fertilizers that you guys develop or you guys make, mm-hmm. We talked about almonds last week with Malvinder. A consumer like ourselves, like us, we call you guys and say, hey, I need some Can 17 for my tree. What does that Can 17 do? Like, what about it? Like, why do I need to apply it to these trees or to the fruits and vegetables that we grow here in California?
So nitrogen is the building block, right, for plant growth. It helps. It gives plants their greenness, right? Normally, it gives them their greenness. There could be a lot of other things that may prevent them from being green, even if you apply nitrogen. But I don't want to get into a chemistry. If that's okay with you guys, unless you want to.
No, you're good. You're good. Yeah. So pretty much it just helps the development of whatever
you're applying it to.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Okay, cool. So Can 17. Okay, so you were saying there's different types of fertilizer. So do they all pretty much do the same thing?
Yes, for the most part. Their availability to the plant differs a little bit between nitrogen forms. So urea, ammonium, and nitrate. They differ a little bit in availability.
Is urea, is that more like environmental friendly, or no?
Oh, we're gonna get into this.
The only reason I'm asking is because urea, is that not cow piss?
Not exactly.
I was told because I think that's the same thing they use in DEF, is it not?
Yes, in DEF, yeah.
Yeah, so DEF, diesel exhaust fluid.
Yeah.
And I was told that, that's part urea is what they use for, it's some type of piss. I don't know if it's cow piss, horse piss. And I just thought, I heard that word and I was like, oh, hey, let me ask him real quick because he's got to know, you know?
Yeah. No, well, I mean, since we're on the topic, like just think about how many cows and horses you would have to collect piss from
True.
To get all that urea, right?
I've actually seen urea in bags.
Yeah.
It's like granule.
Yeah, so 004 or 4600.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
I know
Holy shit.
we used to add them to the
baby
foliar
trees?
sprays, yeah. We used to put them in the tanks at the foliar sprays at the beginning of the season. So yeah, that's what we're talking about.
Okay, all right. And then, so you mentioned, did you have something?
No, I was just going to say, so those granules, you're saying you dump them in, so are they just water soluble?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I thought they just kind of get tossed on the tree or something. Okay. All right, cool.
Yeah, and actually, all these chemicals, are they made here in Fresno? Or is it somewhere else?
We have shipping. I think we have a port in Stockton, or we used to. But no, they're made in Norway, manufactured in Norway. We're using very clean technology, and they ship them over here.
Wow.
Oh,
That's crazy. So everything gets made over there and they just get imported over here.
Yes.
Wow, that's wild.
is it the logo?
The Viking ship.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Now that explains why.
A lot of people don't recognize the name of the company, but they'll recognize the logo. The Viking ship.
Okay.
Oh, damn.
I will post it on Instagram so everybody
I was going to say, I got to keep an eye on it.
Yeah.
I'll probably never unsee it again.
So agronomist. I don't know. Did we go over what is an agronomist?
Nope.
No, we haven't.
No. Can you tell us that?
Agronomy is the study of plants, so I just like to see myself as, someone that likes plants a lot, and I like to help with the development, help farmers, have crops that look nice, and produce, obviously, because, that's the most important part to a farmer, right? Their bottom line. And yeah, just giving farmers advice on proper care of their plants and fields.
So you were talking about your job title, or not necessarily talking about your job title, but your job duties. I know you said you hate selling, but necessarily your job is what you do help the sales team to, achieve whatever they're trying to get, that number or whatever. Is that pretty much what you do?
That's exactly what my job is, or the market development team.
So your job is to help the sales team.
Yes,
whatever
sir.
They need.
So we're tasked with, running field experiments, or, maybe doing research, right? And that's going to help the commercial team sell more fertilizer.
Okay, so they can go up to whoever they're going to sell it to. Hey, look, we got these numbers. This is how it excels in whatever field or whatever, right?
Yes, sir.
Oh, damn, all right.
Yeah.
That's what's up. That's kind of cool.
I'm going to skip my next question because you touched a little bit on research.
Mm-hmm.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but you're still currently working on your master's.
Yes, I'm done with all my coursework. I'm done with data collection. I just have to write my thesis and defend it, hopefully in May of 2025.
Hey, dude, I got to snap to that.
Oh,
shit,
yeah, we're
bro.
snapping.
Holy
Yeah,
fuck,
now we're
dude.
snapping.
Hey, good shit, dude. That's
Thank
awesome,
you.
dude.
Yeah,
Thank
congratulations, man, and best of luck
Appreciate
when you defend your thesis. So you're working with YARA. YARA allows you to. I do remember you telling me that the research that you're getting for your thesis.
Mm-hmm.
Can you touch a little bit of that on how that research that you're collecting, YARA will use in the future, or will they not use it?
So
am I going too far into something that I can't discuss here?
a little bit. I'm not allowed. I'm not allowed to discuss the commercial output yet.
Okay, yeah,
But I can talk about a little bit about my research.
You don't have to go into detail. I think more of what what I want the listeners to hear is that you could work somewhere, go to school, and while you're working, you're also doing your research. I think it's more. We don't really have to go into detail of, obviously, you can't discuss that. But yeah, just tell us the path of that.
Yeah, so for sure. When I got to YARA, I had already started my master's curriculum. But I didn't have a project yet, a research project. So I brought it up to my supervisor. And he said that there was some things that I could do for YARA, right? And yeah, they sponsored my research. Is
that pretty common at other companies too, or is that just kind of like they kind of took a leap of faith with you?
I think in ag, depending on what companies you go to, I don't think it's that far out of the ordinary for the company you're working for to sponsor your research or send you to school to get higher education.
Because at the end of the day, they're betting on you, right? And it's like, obviously, if they're putting their money on you,
they're investing in me.
Exactly.
For sure. Yeah.
So it's an investment for them too. So it's not only you, so which is pretty awesome for a company to back you up like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Danny was talking to me earlier about this, like, oh, hey, we got this guy coming on the podcast, and he starts telling me a little about, I was like, wow, I've never heard anything like that. You know what I mean? So I'm sure more than half of our listeners haven't heard anything about this either. You know what I mean? All the opportunities out there that, companies will help you out,
Yeah. I mean, I think, for example, in our generation, ag gets a little bit of a bad rap, but there's so many opportunities in ag, especially here in the Central Valley. And it doesn't just have to be, like farm management or, working in the fields. Like there's a lot of opportunities in agriculture.
It's definitely true. I mean, you're right, because ag does get a bad rap, man. I keep hearing these damn almonds taking all our water, and then they're taking them to China. So it's like, oh, God, dude, it's pretty irritating. But I'm just glad that we finally got, I don't know. Just I get more insight on, all these people that are coming in that, are in ag, in different parts of ag. I'm just like, oh, shit, it takes a lot, dude. Yeah. And I know driving down the 99, you see it everywhere. It's like, oh, you kind of get tired of the scenery, but it's just like so much goes into it. And it's nice to kind of get all these different people in and get a different perspective,
Yeah, for sure. Thank you.
Yeah. And my other question is, and after your research, after it's all done, you defend your thesis and they get the research or whatever. Did you have to say, I am going to stay with YARA for X amount of years because of this sponsorship?
No, they didn't have any sort of requirement of me, which is, again, pretty cool, right? But I wouldn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
It's not just because they might be listening, My boss might. No, I wouldn't go anywhere. There's a lot of opportunity for upward mobility, right? I feel like I'm being challenged on my current position, which is very important to me. If I'm not being challenged, I feel like I get bored and, I get restless. And I've told you, I plan on moving to Spain or Portugal with YARA. They have a big footprint over there too. So,
yeah. So tell us a little bit more about that. I know we've had conversations about that, and I'm like, my brain's like I wish I could do that.
Yeah.
So yeah, you tell me what you've done in case you do move to Portugal, or you even said Brazil.
Yes, Brazil. My wife wasn't too happy about Brazil just because of the stuff you hear on the news, right?
Yeah.
The violence or even though my Portuguese instructor told me that it's not really that bad, but my wife.
They got football in Brazil now, dude. In NFL games, so it's like
the Eagles, right? Who do they play?
Green Bay.
It was Green Bay, because it was red and green, and supposedly those are gang colors over there.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
they are. Red is you have the Comando Vermelho.
So he's already made some research.
He's like, I'm not buying a house over here. That's their territory.
No, but I think the colors had more to do with the teams that they're rivals.
Gangs? Rival gangs?
No. The teams that are both from that city are, one of them's green and one of them's red. So any home team that plays at the stadium cannot wear green.
Oh, that's what it was.
Yeah.
That's what it was. He's right. That's what it was.
Oh, no, it doesn't matter. Are you talking about soccer?
Yeah, soccer. Yeah.
So just because they're football.
But it brought into the same thing with the NFL.
They're like, you guys are home team, so you guys can't wear green, which is why one of the teams wore black, right? The Eagles, I think, wore black.
They went their alternates or whatever. Yeah. I do remember that. That's crazy, though.
Wow, that's awesome.
Hey, so what is a Brazil? I mean, you're talking about all these places that you kind of. What do they specialize in, like in ag? Is it the same kind of things, or?
So no, in Brazil you have mostly your tropical or subtropical crops like citrus, coffee. I know they do a lot of maize also. In the Iberian Peninsula, which is Portugal and Spain, citrus is pretty big. Tomatoes are pretty big. Almonds are big over there too. Okay. So yeah, it's a little bit different.
A little variety, right? Okay, that's kind of cool. So you were talking about footprints over there. do they have a bigger footprint than North America when it comes to the type of job that, I mean, I'm assuming that you were going to do that marketing job that you're doing now over there, but is it still a big footprint than the US? Well, I guess North America?
I wouldn't be able to tell you exactly. I know that California produces a big majority of the almonds globally, right? Like 78% or something like that. I think the other, like another like 10 or 12% is the Iberian Peninsula, which is, you know, Spain. A bunch are produced in Australia. But yeah, by far the biggest almond footprint is here. But I was just talking as far as agriculture. They do have a pretty big setup over there.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Yeah, the company, you know.
Mm-hmm. How I guess how challenging is it going from the crops that we farm here to going to, let's just say, Brazil again, and you know, creating fertilizers and stuff for coffee beans or for citrus? Is it much different? Is it easy to like catch on and learn from, or you know what I mean?
I think I may be wrong, you know, maybe one of the viewers is going to correct me or, you know, write a comment or something. But I think that as long as you know like agronomy or basic agronomy, you can learn other cropping systems, right?
Gotcha.
It might take you a little bit, but you can learn other cropping systems.
Farming practices and stuff like that. Gotcha.
Practice,
Gotcha.
Does that make sense?
It does. Yeah, it does. Because sometimes I feel like I know almonds and pistachios, or I'm not going to say I know everything of it, but I think about like row crops.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't think I could do that. But you're right. They require water.
Yeah.
They require fertilizer.
Yeah.
And just it's the farming practices that you learn. So
yeah.
You're right.
The amounts of fertilizer, the amounts of water, but
all have recommendations and they're on paper. Yeah.
So I kind of want to take a couple steps back, but what kind of led you? I know ag is everywhere, so I know you kind of had your foot already in the ag, but what kind of led you to wanting to be an agronomist? Was it the pay? Was it, oh, hey, I see myself doing something like this? Like what enticed you to do it?
So I've pretty much always been, I guess, involved in agriculture since about maybe my sophomore year in high school. I started working in the fields just to make some extra money, you know, for school clothes or whatever. But as far as agronomy, it happened once I left the military. I was actually an engineering major, a mechanical engineering major, and I took physics, chemistry, and calculus all in one semester. And I was like, you know, I don't want to do this for the rest of my life. So I changed majors. I went the ag route, figuring that there would be a lot of opportunities, and thankfully I was right. You know, there's a lot of opportunities out here for ag majors.
And you never had that thought, like that you thought when you had that other, like when you were going for the other career, like, oh, I should probably switch, or you really do love like that, what you do when it comes to ag?
I love what I do.
He's taking it back. He's like, did I just say that? Damn.
I do love what I do, but I guess there are opportunities in agriculture for engineering majors also, right? Like, you know, waterworks or stuff like that. You know, so.
So if you did, I mean, not that I'm saying it's too late or anything, but if you did want to like dive into a different career, I mean, it would be kind of easy for you to kind of just dive in, or no?
Is it like an engineering major?
No, not engineer, but with the stuff that you're going to school for now. You know, you're getting your master's and all these. I mean, these degrees they can't be just applied for agronomy, right? They could be for just about anything when it comes to ag. Well, not anything, but you know what I mean.
I think my coursework and my experience is specifically tied to ag. So I think it would be kind of difficult to just say like, hey, I want to go be a data scientist or something.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So it wouldn't transfer well.
Probably not. Okay. I do some data analysis, but nothing like, you know, the guys at Google are doing or something.
Right.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. We're going to jump into your previous employment with Deerpoint Group here in Madera.
Okay.
So what did you do there?
I was a crop advisor. But similar to what I'm doing here, but over there I had more face time with growers, right? I spoke to growers almost on a daily basis, giving them crop recommendations for fertilizer, scouting fields for deficiencies or for bugs or, you know, pests. Yeah, that's what I did over there.
Okay, and right now in Yara, you don't do much of that. You do. I know you do a little bit of that, right?
Yes. So I don't have as much FaceTime with growers. I do talk to them once in a while, usually at the end of the season or at the beginning of the season, right? Just to let them know what our plan is for the season. But yeah, during the season, I have almost no communication with them.
Does somebody else do that? Is there crop advisors at Yara that?
No. So YARA doesn't sell directly to growers. We sell to retailers.
So they're the third party, and then everyone else gets distributed.
So
Okay,
yes,
got it.
you sell to Deerpoint Group. Okay, like a Deerpoint Group. No,
like a
I'm sorry.
Deerpoint
Yeah,
Group.
I
Yeah.
take that back.
Yeah, yeah.
You sell to somebody like a Deerpoint
Yeah,
Group.
so like your
company.
fertilizer retailers like
Kmart.
Wilbur Ellis.
No, I'm just kidding.
Well, like Wilbur Ellis, Nutrien, Helena.
Simplot and
Even though Nutrien does a lot of their own manufacturing also, but yeah.
gotcha.
People like
Gotcha.
that.
Gotcha. I think we understand a little bit more of
Yes.
of Yara.
I was going to say, because I've never heard him. I've probably seen him down the highway once or twice, but right now I was like, nah, I've never heard of him, but now it makes sense. Third party company. I'm like, oh, dude, you never hear about those third party companies because they're too busy doing, big
Norway
business stuff.
stuff.
You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly.
They're doing Norway stuff, Viking things. Is a requirement to be a Vikings fan.
No, I'm not a Vikings fan for sure. Even though they're doing good this year.
Yeah, they are. They are.
Yeah,
Hey,
Sam
so
Darnold's really surprising me.
how was your? No, you're good. How was your time at Deerpoint? Like, was it short?
It was about a year and 2 months.
Oh, that's still not bad.
Yeah,
That's,
it's not bad.
Was it just a year?
It was just a year and 2 months. Yeah, maybe a little more. A year and 3 months. Yeah, it wasn't too long.
and was it because it's not it's just not the career path that you wanted to do, or was it the people? Was it something wasn't clicking?
It was a learning experience
Nah,
for sure.
You got to take that everywhere. Yeah, you got to take that. You got to take what you can from it.
No, it was a learning experience. I learned a lot. They actually helped me get my CCA license, right? That was when I got my letter of recommendation from one of the growers.
What's a CCA license?
Oh, it's a certified crop advisor.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. Oh, sick. Okay.
Yeah, it's one of the, I guess, the more important licenses you can have when you're in the ag industry.
Yeah.
That and your PCA.
So is it kind of okay? So you have your license. Is it kind of like? And I know we do this a lot. I do this to you, and I call you and I say, "Hey, Jesus," I send you pictures and I
Yeah.
say, "This is what my tree is doing.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think it is?" And then that's when you.
So I will normally tell them, like, by the looks of it, it looks like this, but I can't tell you definitively unless, I go and take samples and, all the other stuff.
Yeah.
Wow,
Definitely. Yeah, no. It's just, I know we collaborate
Yeah,
a little bit,
yeah,
and
for sure.
and I will call you and I say, hey, bro, I see the tree, and I don't know what it is. I think I know what it is, but you tell me. I also think it looks like this is
Yeah.
what's happening to the tree, and then that's when I go to like my PCA and say, hey, can you check this out? Because I
Yeah.
think it's this. Makes me sound a little smarter thanks to this guy.
No, he's a smart guy.
But I'm sure this guy is probably like he thinks I'm gonna know off the top of my head. It's like you talking to a mechanic over the phone. Hey, my car is doing. It's like, oh, it's probably gonna be the sensor. You should probably get the sensor checked out. You know what I mean? So it's just like, is that the way you see it? Because you have to do a lot of things to find out what it is, right? You have to run all these courses to find out. Hey, it's this.
Yes, I normally, if it wasn't Danny, I probably wouldn't give anyone advice like that over the phone.
Oh, okay.
But it's
Thank
just
you.
me and Danny, we talk like this, so we're good.
Yeah.
But
Trust. There's trust.
Yeah, there's trust for sure.
Yeah.
Normally, I wouldn't give advice like that just without taking samples first.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good to know. I guess my thing was just like, hey, do you really know? Not that you don't know anything, but my thing is like, can you really get an answer without running tests? So are you like 70, 60% sure that what the thing that you're giving him, or you just never know?
When I give him something, I usually think about it a lot and I go and read on it before I tell him anything. But there's just so many variables that it's very difficult to say like, yeah, I'm 100% sure it's that. Do you guys have time for a short story?
Yeah, go for it.
We have all the time you want, man. Go for it.
So I have a friend in Reedley. He farms peaches, and his trees were kind of displaying some symptoms like they weren't getting enough water. like salt, ion toxicity, right? And there was too much. They were probably applying too much of something, right? Or the ground was too salty, or whatever. You know, in layman's terms, it was too salty. But I went and took soil samples, and then I found out that there was a lot of nitrogen in the
soil?
in the soil, which, you know, was probably causing the trees to not want to take up any more nitrogen. So the only way to do that is to just stop taking up water, right? Because nitrogen moves with the water. So
Oh, damn.
yeah.
So how do you fix that? How do you reverse too much nitrogen?
So you can
Sorry, if it's gonna be too long. Sorry, we could just slide past it.
no, you can so you can add carbon, right? Like compost to tie up some of the carbon.
What's compost?
It's just, you know,
Soil.
yeah,
Different soil.
it's like it can be a lot of things, right? Like you can compost your food scraps. Oh, sorry. Your food scraps. There's a lot of things you can compost, and you add it to the soil. It's a carbon source, ties up the nitrogen.
Oh, okay. I thought when you do compost it turns into nitrogen to help the plant. So it's doing the complete opposite. It's carbon.
Well, yes, but at first it ties it up, right?
Oh, okay.
When you're saying tie, when you're saying tie it up, you mean the nitrogen won't
becomes immobile.
It won't go into the tree.
Yeah, it becomes immobile for a short while. But the recommendation I ended up giving him was over the winter or in the dormant period to add a cover crop without fertilizing, right? That way the cover crop could scavenge pretty much the nutrients that were left.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then not leave the cover crop there to become green manure. So he's going to cut it and bale it.
And what would be a cover crop?
Cover crops it's pretty much anything that's ground cover, right? There's a lot of different species that can be used as cover crops. But what I recommended was like a winter wheat. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
in between the rows and stuff.
Yeah, in between the rows of the peaches.
Oh, yeah, makes sense. So they'll collect whatever excess nitrogen
Yep.
is, and then
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. I like it. All right, you got something? Because I want to drink water too.
Yeah,
got thirsty.
I just barely got a sip. Yeah. So what's a lesson that you learned in YARA? I mean, not YARA. I'm sorry. A lesson that you learned in Deerpoint Group.
Deerpoint Group. Let's see. This is a good question. I think a lesson that I learned at Deerpoint Group was that farmers are more inclined to trust someone that's been in those shoes. For example, I came from a farm management background, just like you. I always felt like I could build rapport much easier with them than, some of my other buddies there at the company, just because I knew what they were talking about. For example, like they were going to run a hedger and do an A cut, or something like that.
So your other buddies that you're referring to, are those the guys that probably just came straight out of college and have no experience?
No, they...
Because, they probably, what's an A cut? No, like, they probably have no idea what that is, you know what I mean? So it's just like you having that
trying
experience.
to get me in trouble.
You don't work at Deerpoint. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I don't think anyone that I worked with at Deerpoint works at Deerpoint anymore. That's crazy. Yeah, no, but no, I think that's a good lesson, right? The farmers are more inclined to trust someone that comes from a similar background as
That's
them,
true.
for sure.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. I guess how much different is it working for Deerpoint than it is working for YARA?
Was it working for Deerpoint than YARA?
Yeah. How different is it?
It's...
And you could go into like the culture was different, like the vibe,
Mm-hmm.
the way the management is.
So I think at YARA, there's a lot less...
Is it more independent?
Yes.
I'm not.
I was gonna say it in a much more negative way, but yes, no. I was gonna say there's a lot less micromanagement.
Okay,
Oh.
right.
Yeah. There's a lot more independence, I guess.
There's more independence at YARA than there's at Deerpoint Group. Okay, and then I mean, that's a big change.
Yeah.
Going from somewhere that you have like managers looking at your work every time or whatever, to going to something independent. Does it feel like that's a big stress relief? Or do you feel sometimes where you're just like, man, I do wish I had someone to like lean on and like every now and then? Or no?
I think it's a little more stressful because you're in charge of all your own work pretty much, right? And getting everything you need to get done, and no one's really supervising you. Sometimes I'll go, weeks without talking to my boss.
That was me. That was my nose.
That was your nose?
I pushed air in and just a.
Thought Jesus was like powering off or something. I'm like, damn, we broke them.
All right, what was I on?
I don't know, but that's we're gonna leave it in and we're gonna clip it, dude. That's gonna go on social media, bro.
Yeah, please, I want that. You were talking about.
I don't even know what we were talking about.
Damn it, I don't even have a pump for Jesus to pump him back up, dude.
No, I remember.
No, yeah, we were talking about how you said you go weeks without talking to your boss.
Yeah,
sometimes
like there's weeks, like maybe 1 or 2 weeks that I'll go without talking to my boss, and it just gets me thinking, like, am I doing enough to earn my paycheck, right? Like, I really want to make sure that the company's getting their money's worth, right? They're paying me this X amount of money, and like I need to make sure I'm on my, minding my P's and Q's, kind of.
Yeah, that's it's kind of cool because I'm kind of the same way where I like to be kind of not checked up on, but it's like, hey, am I going the right path? You know what I mean? Am I doing what I'm supposed to? Because at the end of the day, it's not necessarily. I don't want to consider like I like being micromanaged, because I mean, who likes being micromanaged? But I do like to be knowing that, hey, if I'm doing it right, I don't want to say I like the recognition, but I do like to know that, hey, I'm doing good work. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, if you're doing something and you've been doing it for 2 weeks, and then, oh, hey, you've been doing it wrong the whole time, like, oh fuck, what have you been doing those 2 weeks? You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
So I do like to follow up with that, but I mean, that'd be kind of hard to kind of go into a different job, different work environment, and be like, well, here you go.
Yeah,
you got a month to work on this, dude.
So how do you deal with that? Like,
so what I started doing was, even if my boss doesn't check up on me, I'll just send him like, hey, just checking in. I've done this, and this. Just to keep that line of communication open, I guess.
And how do you feel that's worked?
I think it works, right? If he probably gets the feeling that we haven't communicated in a while either, he'll tell me, hey, you got time for a quick chat? And then we'll just hop on, a Teams call or something.
Oh, that's cool. That's actually
pretty nice.
Yeah, instead of I don't know, just like regular scheduled meetings every Tuesday and shit. You're like, oh, you're dreading it.
We do have plenty of those.
Oh, do you?
but like company, or not company wide, but like
everyone.
Team wide, yeah.
Oh, okay.
For our specific team.
Every Tuesday?
They are every Tuesday.
Ironically, every Tuesday.
Oh, fuck that. I said it because we have ours every fucking Tuesday. So
what's up with Tuesdays? We have one every Tuesday.
I think no one wants to do it on a Monday, right?
Yeah, Mondays do suck.
Yeah. So
plus a lot of people call in Monday, so they're like, nah, we'll get you on Tuesday.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Team meetings on Tuesdays, I guess. All around. Anything else for Deerpoint, Ed?
No, I mean, I just
Did you guys do research on Deerpoint before?
We did not. No.
Oh, okay.
This is just.
I used to be a vendor there, so I kind of like I know one person there, and then I know what they do. You know what I mean? So I picked up their waste and stuff. So it's cool. I never knew. I mean, for the listeners, I mean, what exactly do they do? I don't think we explained that.
You're right.
So they offer a solution, which is kind of some hardware and software, where they control all of your fertilizer inputs going into the field.
Oh, damn.
Remotely, so you don't have to worry about any of it. You can look at it on your computer and hey, this is how much I've applied this week.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool solution. It's pretty
but
neat.
what's inputting it, or who's inputting it? You're saying you're doing it remotely, but what machine is doing it, or what?
There's a white box with some pumps in it that controls the fertilizer flow into the field.
Oh, and then it goes into their water
system.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know how much more I could talk about that, because they have patents on everything.
They do.
Yeah. They have.
Oh, you're saying not that you want to talk more about it, but you can't talk more about it.
Yeah. I don't want to get in trouble.
Yeah, no.
Man, if you get in trouble for this, I don't know what to tell you, dude.
She's going viral.
We haven't even used a song because we're scared we're getting in trouble.
Yeah, dude. I used one, but then I was like, I don't want to get in trouble, dude.
Yeah.
Have someone compose a jingle for you guys.
We're thinking about it. We're trying to get something.
You want to throw it down right now?
Which one?
The jingle you've been working on.
I know. I'm not ready yet. It's not ready.
All right, so we're gonna jump into a little bit about Agriland, where I currently work. So don't talk shit. No, I'm just kidding. So how did you hear about Agriland?
So I knew someone that worked there. We went to school together. He just graduated a year early. Oscar. Yeah. So when I was getting close to graduation, like February before I graduated, I hit up Oscar and I was like, hey man, do you know if they're hiring there at Agriland? He's like, hey, I don't know, man, but come apply. You know, it's dope here. You'll like it. You know, so I went and applied, and I got the job. Yeah.
What was it for? Entry level position, or what was it?
It was as a field supervisor, or no, field foreman. Field foreman. Yeah.
Damn. So you went straight in and became a foreman.
Yeah, and to be honest, like I did feel like sometimes my guys felt some kind of way about it. You know, like this kid doesn't know shit about.
I feel like that's for sure a lot of. I'm sure that went through your head, right, when you first started.
Yeah, I didn't know shit.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not gonna say anything, but like I feel like people probably thought like, oh, he's. My dad is a supervisor there, and they probably thought, oh, well, he's Hector's son. He's probably just gonna. But yeah, it was nowhere near that.
Yeah.
So you applied, you got the job, and I believe you got the job, and then I got promoted to a different division.
Yeah.
And you took my spot.
Yes, sir.
So hopefully I left a good good division for you.
It was good. Yeah. Danny was a good teacher for sure.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
He's blinking a lot. I think he's lying, dude.
Yeah. Blink twice.
So you were a foreman there. What did you learn about being a foreman there?
Oh, I think the biggest things I learned there were, I guess, how to deal with the nuances of managing, right? Like, every single person that you work with has like a different way that you have to approach them, right? You can't approach everyone the same way. I think that was one of the most important things I learned there, for sure. For sure.
So awesome. You said that's one of the important things you learned, but how did you learn that? Did you have a bad experience?
No, I mean, not necessarily bad, but I think it's just like growing pains, right? You're thrust into a position of like leadership, but you know, just because you have like a title doesn't make you a leader, right?
Right. That's true.
I always tell Danny that, in my opinion, he's one of the best leaders of people that I've ever seen, right? Like, as far as management goes, everyone loved Danny. Everyone always like respected Danny, and I felt like I always, you know, like maybe people didn't like me as much as they like Danny, right? So, just growing pains, right? Yeah, I think so.
Oh, that's cool. That's
Thank you. Yeah, I like I'm out of words right now, but thank you. Appreciate it. That means a lot. Now, with that being said, what do you think should be different? Like, would you, if you could do it again, like, would you have loved that before you were put into that position, that there was some coaching, some development prior to just putting you out there?
Oh, no. I don't. Okay.
And
I misspoke.
No.
You did coach me, right? Like, I did spend a couple of months with you before I took over for you, right? And then you got promoted. So I did get coached. I guess
it's still a development, right? Trying to get into the way of things of being a leader, right?
Yeah, and you know, earning the respect of the guys that are working for you.
And I think what you mean by what you said was, I don't think anything can prepare you for a role where you are going to be in charge of people, where you have to be. It doesn't matter how much training you can get, how much videos you watch. You have to learn that firsthand.
Yes, sir.
And not everyone
exactly.
Like you were talking about that. The CO podcast that you listen to. Yeah, same thing. I would always ask my sister, like, hey, so what now? You know, what are you going to do? Not everybody likes being in that supervisor role, you know, having those more responsibilities. And it's, you're talking about how, hey, you were put into that role, not necessarily liking it, but hey, this is something different. You took an experience out of it, which is kind of cool. You know what I mean? But not everyone can do that. It's pretty crazy, man.
No, for sure. I think a lot of things about Agriland helped me, you know, take the career path I ended up choosing now. So I learned a lot there.
So when you applied to Agriland, what skills did you have before to think that that you're like, hey, we're going to put you as a foreman?
Shit, man. So I wasn't even done with college. I started working at Agriland in February. I graduated in May. So I wasn't even done with college. I guess I had some people management experience from the Marine Corps, but it's so different in the Marine Corps. In the Marine Corps, like for example, I was a sergeant. I told someone to do something. If they were a lower rank than me, then they better fucking do it. Right? That's not how it works in the real world.
So, but it's kind of like seniority, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So seniority doesn't work in the Oh, well, but then again, all the people that you're working with in the fields are hella older than you and shit, right?
Yes,
so it's just for them to...
Well, the majority of them are older than you, right? Yeah, so...
Yeah, so I had a luxury of kind of working, a couple days out in the field with Annie and shit, and I kind of... I noticed that, and I was just like, I'm like, damn, like, if I ever wanted to become a foreman or do something like that, I'm like, I wouldn't feel comfortable. Like, how am I going to tell this, 50-year-old guy to tell him what to do? ¿Y este chavalo qué? ¿Qué me está diciendo que hacer? It's like, damn, in reality, it's just like, why should I be telling a 50-year-old what to do? You know what I mean?
Yeah, considering that they've probably been doing this for a big part of their life, right?
And I'm sure they know a whole lot more than, what I would bring to the table. But, at the end of the day, it's you learn, you give and take, But, yeah, crazy though. But, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't have this one written down, but I kind of want to ask it because I know Carlos Mendez is going to come in the podcast in a month or so. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to ask him the same thing because you, me, and him all went through the same supervisor. and just a little backstory on this supervisor. He is an old school guy at Agriland. He is, I remember before I went into Agriland, my dad said, I know who you should go under with, but I don't want you to go under him. Mm. But you should, because he was my dad's supervisor too. Oh, so shit. My dad went through him. I did. Carlos did. Jesus did. And he's a hard ass. Like he is. He will teach you the right way, and you better freaking know where that ounce of freaking chemical went, because he is old school. So
very old school. I was the only one that failed, by the way.
No, you didn't fail. You didn't fail. What lesson did you learn from Ignacio?
A thoroughness, for sure, right? That guy was like meticulous about paperwork, about miles on the tractor or hours on the tractor, because on tractor is not miles, it's hours. Man, that guy was, meticulous.
And you better believe that. One time he's still there. Yeah. He's still going, and he says,
"You guys want to hear a funny story?"
Yeah.
All right. So once Danny got promoted, and it was just me there. After about a year, people started telling me like, "Hey, just stick it out. Nacho's gonna retire soon, and you'll take his position, right?" And I would always tell him like, I'm gonna retire before that guy retires, man. There's no way he's gonna retire.
He's still there. He's still there. He every year since I've been there, and I have the most respect for this guy. Again, I've said it before. I'll say it again. Like this guy, the reason I am the person that I am today, as a manager, as a supervisor, is because of him.
For sure.
But damn, he's been saying he's gonna retire every single year. Finally, the last 2 years, I've told him, stop telling me you're going to retire. You're not going to retire. And I'm not going to let you anymore. And then the other day, actually, a week ago, he's like, vamos a andar por aquí todavía. And I'm like, yeah, I know. You're going to be in a wheelchair, and I'm going to put your wheelchair on the hitch of my truck, and I'm going to drive you around. I'm like, you're never leaving. Like, you're not going to retire.
What was the guy he worked for? Charlie? Was it Charlie?
I think so. Something like that, yeah.
That he was in a wheelchair or something? No?
No, I don't know.
Was that a legend? Was
maybe that's a myth. Yeah.
Agriland myth.
Damn, dude. So people kind of just stay there forever, huh?
Yeah, stay there for a long time. I mean, I know he's been there for a long time, and he's done a really good job for the company. He's not I don't want to say he's a supervisor anymore. He is a supervisor, but he's more of like, he goes through every division, and now he's thorough with everybody.
Oh, so he's kind of there for moral support for like everybody? Like
he makes you... Most of the time, you're on your shit, I guess.
Kind of like an auditor.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Okay. That's the best way you could describe it.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And like, damn it, they're here. And I was like,
I thought it was just more for like suggestions. Oh, hey, you should do this. No. I was like, oh,
no, definitely. No, this guy doesn't suggest.
He's the guy that we went to the barbecue at night, right?
He's the guy that what?
We were at the barbecue with Santi. It was me, you, Santi, and a bunch of old people.
Yes, he was there. Yeah. He was also at my birthday party. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Last year.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember.
I think I stole his hat. Took his hat off him.
His Tejana?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. I don't know if I did or not, but yeah. Anyways, let's get back into this. Last week we talked about, with Malvinder, we touched bases on beekeeping and bees and almonds and citrus and plums and all sorts of bees. right? So you are a beekeeper as well,
Yes, sir.
right? What led you to become a beekeeper?
All right. So I took a class in college, and I figured I could do it. Right. My wife gets pissed at this because I'll watch a YouTube video and then I think I could do it. So I'll go and buy the equipment to, for example, like make panels on cars, right? On old school cars. So I got some of that equipment in my house. I have beekeeping equipment. I just took up barbecuing, so I have a smoker now.
Hey, you can't go wrong with barbecuing, dude. This is awesome.
Oh, well, but that's pretty much how I got into it. I took a class in college at Fresno State, and I was like, man, this seems pretty cool. And then a few months later, I caught my first swarm at Agriland, right? I took your truck. I think I took your truck.
Probably.
Yeah. And that's how I got into it.
Funny story, was at the time when I said, no, this is another time. So can I say the story?
Yeah.
So,
I don't know what story it is, but
Yeah, I was about to say, damn,
if
you
it's
already know this
embarrassing,
shit.
if it's embarrassing, then you're gonna clip it.
It's not. Yeah, I'll clip
You're
it.
editing it, fool.
Fuck, I know. No, so Jesus had just started there and he said, I'm trying beekeeping or whatever. And I'm like, okay, cool. And this is around February when we put out boxes of bees everywhere.
The ones that got knocked over.
Yes.
And I got stung.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the night before or over the weekend, it seemed like a car went in there to do donuts and they hit a beehive. And so me as a great, I want to save the bees. I was like, oh, Jesus. I'm like, Jesus is a beekeeper.
Fuck.
I'm like, dude, so they hit this beehive. I'm like, could you bring your suit and can we put it back together? I know they've done it in the past, but I think a guy got stung really, really bad.
Yeah.
But and Jesus was like, yeah, of course, I could do that. I'm like, okay, cool. So it's the end of the day.
Yeah.
And Jesus goes out there and he has everything, but then he's like, fuck, I forgot my gloves.
I forgot my gloves.
So he's like, do you have some of those yellow mechanic gloves? And I'm like, yeah, here you go. So I give him the mechanic gloves. Then what happens?
So I was putting them back together, and it's like the bees knew where my weak spots were. That's the only place where they were attacking, right? My hands. And I got stung. My left hand got swollen.
Yeah?
Pretty bad.
We left now.
Yeah.
But he's like, get in your truck, dude. Get in your truck and drive. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, because they were chasing me.
Yeah.
So were the boxes okay, though?
Yeah, I think I ended up putting them back together.
Oh, you
pretty
did?
good.
You
Yeah.
fucking withstood. Wow, dude.
Yeah.
After the first thing, it would have been out, bro.
Lifesaver.
And then
Sick.
Danny, not even a fucking gated or anything. Hey, thanks, bro. Yeah, must have
Probably, I probably didn't give him anything, dude. I'm
Fucking-
sorry, dude.
No, that's all good.
So one thing that we want to touch bases on beekeeping is the taste of honey between almond pollen and citrus, right?
Yes. Yeah, I didn't know there was a difference. You go to the swap meet or you just go any, a street, they're raw honey. But I didn't know, raw citrus honey, or I know they don't mention it, but it's just I didn't know there was different varieties of tasting honey,
Yeah, for sure. There's different. So depending on what the source is of the honey, it can be very dark or very light. In the case of citrus honey, it's usually very light, almost like water, right? And just very, very clear almost. The taste is also different. The smell from citrus honey, you can get the citrusy hints,
no way.
right? Yeah, I love citrus honey. I've never heard of anyone collecting honey from bees that have been pollinating almonds, though. I think from what I understand, it has more of a bitter taste. So I don't know if that's true or not. Someone could fact check me on here.
Yeah, well, Malvinder last week was saying I know some people. I'll hook you up, and I was just like, so there must be some people that I don't. They probably don't sell it. I'm not sure what they do with it, to be honest with you, but it must be out there. But I definitely want to try it. He said it was also good for allergies. No, people that get allergies in the valley, they just get a little bit of almond or honey almond and whatever.
So pretty much what you're doing by that is kind of like microdosing pollen, and it gets your body used to it. Right?
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't. When he said that too, I was just like, "What do you mean?" But Yeah, because I get allergies pretty bad, but I just don't know from what, because it just kind of hit me out of nowhere,
Yeah.
It's not during a certain time. But, yeah.
Yeah. The other thing we were pondering on was we see them all over the place in like February, March, or late January, February, March here in the Valley. Where do they all go after that?
So if they're California bees, so they're here in California all year round, usually the beekeepers will have connections with citrus growers, right? Usually citrus blooms shortly after the almond bloom is done, depending on the varieties and all that stuff. But usually you'll find someone with citrus trees. You'll put them on citrus blocks, and then you get that, delicious citrus honey. But most bees for the almond pollination season come from out of state. So I don't know if you guys knew this, but almond pollination is the biggest mass migration of honeybees anywhere in the world, right? That's the biggest movement of bees from other places to here in California. The biggest places that they come from are from Florida and Texas, I believe. And then they come here for almond pollination, and then they go up to like North Midwest, like to Montana, and they hang out over there. Who knows doing what? I think sunflower, maybe.
Oh.
And how do they transport them? Is it just all by semi-trucks and stuff?
Trucks, yeah, semi-trucks. And you got, your wandering beekeepers that, follow them around.
Oh, okay. Just to make sure they're following the truck or whatever?
Well, no. So you could like bees need attention pretty much year round, right? Or else they'll swarm, or they'll get diseases. They'll get pests. They get pests also. The biggest pest is the varroa mite in honeybees. So you have to, you got to treat them with certain, chemicals and stuff like that.
Yeah, because it's a little small story time, but one time I was working at Pilot, and some lady comes in and complains like, hey, there's a lot of bees outside. And I'm just like, okay, cool.
I remember that day.
And then a second person comes in, there's a shitload of bees at the gas pumps or whatever, right? So then we go outside, and there's a fucking truck fucking fueling with a shitload of bees, dude, and it just starts piling all over the gas pumps, all over people's cars, and they just love the red because, Pilot was their logo's red and shit, and it was all over the gas pumps, and I'm like, shit. So finally they fuel up and they fucking leave, but the bees are just still, they were all still there, but I was always curious. I'm like, hey, do they not put nets on them so they can contain them and shit? But it's just like, dude, the driver that's fucking driving the truck has to stop too and shit, but the bees, what the fuck, what's up with the bees,
they need to park somewhere else. And I don't know if it's red, but I'm pretty sure they cannot see red.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, usually the forklifts that they use to move them,
Yellow.
when they have them at night, like they'll have red lights because the bees can't see those lights.
Oh shit! Holy
they can't
crap.
see red.
I didn't know that.
think it's red. I'm pretty certain it's red.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Pretty neat. Yeah.
The more you know.
Ba-ba-ba.
Dude, that's crazy though. But I've never forgot the story. And then we were talking about with last week with Malvinder. He was also talking about like how bees get transported and stuff. And then it's so funny that I get an ad on my freaking phone for this show 911 whatever,
The TV show?
and then and it's a 2-hour special event on how a truckload of bees get lost in LA, gets fucking swarmed by bees. And then we're talking about this. I was like, oh shit. And it's just funny how that came to be. But yeah, Fox, if you guys want to watch that show about bees. Pretty crazy though. But yeah, I didn't know they get transported by semi trucks, dude.
Yeah.
Pretty wild.
Yeah. Mostly
So all over the US, they're just.
They come mostly from Texas and Florida, and then here for February for like January to about the end of March or something like that. Yeah. And then they get moved to other places.
Damn, okay. So, hey, last week we were talking about these new white boxes that are out for bees. Bee-Wise?
Bee-Wise. You
Okay.
remembered.
So, we were talking about that. So, now that Bee-Wise has created something where they can control the bees' environments and whatnot, does that take away from the transporting the bees in and out, since now we can see what's going on with the bees?
So I don't think they can control their environment so much as they can tell you what their environment is, right? They have like, hopefully I'm not misspeaking, but I want to say they have like sensors and little cameras in there to monitor the temperature of the hive. Just to make sure they're not
that's all they're
too
doing.
hot.
Okay, got it.
Those sensors also give you a calculation of growing degree days, if I'm not mistaken, and they'll let you know like when full bloom is and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
So they're just making pollination more efficient, I think.
Okay. I thought it was more of the the bee health, you know, like
Yeah.
making sure they're in top shape, but it's just giving readings of what's going on inside the hive, right?
Well, yes, but I mean, those readings of what's going on inside the box does help you make sure they're,
decisions.
you know, on treatment or whatever, if you need to treat them for pests or, yeah, stuff like that.
What kind of pests do bees get?
So the most important one is the varroa mite. Then there's
And
foul
the-
brood.
Is the varroa mite? Is that? I know what mites are, but is that a little spider?
It looks like a little tick, almost like a very small, reddish brown tick.
And you can't? Can
Very
you see it with
tiny.
your eye?
You can see it with your eye. Yeah,
You can?
if you know what you're looking for, you can see it with your eye. Sometimes when I'm looking through my hives, if I start seeing them, I know that, hey, I need a treat for that pest to make sure they get killed.
Is it a pesticide, like a spray, or is it more of a?
So it's this thing that looks kind of like peanut butter, right? And the bees like will crawl on it and like bite it and chew it, and then when they do that and they groom themselves, it kind of kills the pest. I think that's how it works.
Okay,
yeah.
okay. Oh, it's kind of cool.
But yeah, it looks like peanut butter pretty much.
Not harmful to, obviously not harmful to the bees, but harmful to the.
To the varroa
Insect.
mite, yeah.
No, okay.
Yeah, it's a.
Is it an insect?
It-
Would we consider it an insect?
It would be a pest, so that's why they use a pesticide. And if it was an insect, they would use an insecticide. I learned that too. Yeah, so it's crazy though. But so how does that mite affect the bees?
It causes them to. I'm a little rusty on this.
No, it's
But
I know nothing. So if you could just teach me a little bit, that's all.
I know one of the big symptoms that it causes in bees is like kind of like disorientation. They'll just like fly around in circles or like fly and then fall to the ground, and it causes disorientation. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
As far
So
as
it sounds
I
like
know.
it kind of takes over their body, then, kind of, right?
Yeah. It does affect the hive quite a bit. So if you get a varroa mite infestation and then you don't treat, chances are your bees won't make it through the winter.
Oh, damn.
And then the hive beetle is also a big one, big pest of bees. I don't think it's very prevalent here in California, but I know in bees that come from out of state, it's pretty prevalent.
Damn. Okay. Crazy. I didn't know bees were at at risk when it comes to other pests. I thought they were just kind of on their own, you know?
Yeah, no. I mean, normally I think that especially I want to see in New York, they've found some wild colonies that have a resistance, like sort of like an immunity to these pests that they've built over time just by being wild bees. But I think when we try to manipulate them, we make them a little weak, maybe.
Yeah.
It could be true. Yeah.
So I'm gonna ask a question that you may or may not know, but I mean, what would happen if we didn't have any bees?
Oh, like the bee movie.
Yeah, what happened to the bee movie?
Well, they stopped making honey because the workers were like, "Hey, that's mine. It's on the shelves. Like we made that." So all the bees stopped working.
They went on strike.
Yeah,
I need to watch the bee movie.
dude. It's like my favorite movie, dude. I love Jerry Seinfeld, dude.
I do love it. Like,
Didn't they get upset because it was a bear on the bottle too?
They're like, "We made that." Dude. Yeah, dude, it's pretty funny. It's a
You know
good
how
movie.
like Honey comes in like little bear.
yeah.
I guess they got pissed over that too.
I need to watch it again.
It's a good movie, dude.
I do remember they were like, "This is the best day." What I don't know. It's like how many? What's the life cycle of a bee? How many months?
I wouldn't be able to tell. I did know it at one point. But
we need to watch the movie because I know he says it there.
He does say it, but they say it like comedically because like they're like, "Oh, I was a baby and then I was a teenager." It's like all on the same day and shit.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, but
they have a pretty short lifespan during the season because obviously they're working a lot. They go through different stages also of what their job is within the hive. So like usually younger bees or recently hatched bees will be nurse bees, which means they take care of other like pupa and larvae, right? And then they'll get promoted until they eventually die.
damn,
They'll get promoted to death.
it's crazy. It kind of sounds like what we're living in, man. Sounds like a simulation, dude.
We're just bees. We're bees.
And we're just working too, dude, until we get promoted.
So back to my question. What would happen if bees go extinct?
I know a huge part of crops are pollinated by bees. If I'm not mistaken, it's around 3/4, like 72% or something like that
Wow.
of crops are pollinated by some sort of insect pollinator, not necessarily bees. But that's the one, we know about the most. But I mean, hummingbirds can be pollinators, moths, all kinds of stuff. But I don't know what would happen if just bees went extinct. I think if another insect didn't step up, like, hey, we need to be the new top dog pollinator, then it would be kind of hard for us to produce food.
Is there another insect that you know of that is in the process of probably being used for pollination?
So there are a lot of insects that are other bees, right? You have the blue orchard bee, which is also used for pollination, just not in as large a scale as honeybees. You also have bumblebees that are used for pollination. So mostly bees.
Mostly bees. Okay.
Damn, I didn't know there was different types of bees. Well, I mean, I did, but I mean, not necessarily for pollination. I thought they were all just honeybees, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Anything else on bees?
What do you think about carpenter bees, man?
Carpenter bees. I have a few in my insect collection that I
Do you
did in
really?
college. Yeah, you pin insects on a board.
Oh yeah,
which is kind of cruel, I guess.
yeah.
Yeah, but I have a few in my collection. That's about it.
I had to deal with a couple last week, and I'm like, holy shit! I didn't know how aggressive they were, dude, and how far into a house they can fucking dig in, dude. I was like, oh shit. So yeah, they're just like termites, dude. They're like wood destroying organisms, technically.
Oh.
Yeah,
and
they'll drill little tunnels in wood.
Wild, man, wild. And I was just like, yeah, we don't do that. That's a different department. Because yeah, dude, it's like a whole fucking hive inside the attic. And
Damn bees.
yeah, so it's pretty wild that what a bee can do. They don't just do honey, man. They do a whole lot of other shit.
Damage too.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy though.
Well, we are gonna jump into our last segment that we have here, and since you are our first, like I said earlier, our first veteran,
yes,
can we call? We could say that.
Yeah, that's fine.
America, fuck yeah.
So
I hated that movie. I hated that movie,
dude. But just anything that they make is just like controversial. That's what I liked about it. But anyways,
so you were in the Marine Corps.
Yeah.
What led you to serve in the military?
I was getting into a lot of trouble in high school. I got expelled, as a matter of fact, for a year between my junior and senior year. So I got expelled halfway through my junior year, and then I came back to graduate halfway through my senior year. My soccer coach at the time told me, like, if you don't straighten up, you're going to end up somewhere bad. So he's like, just take off, go to the military. And he was a Marine also.
Oh, so, damn. Kind of straighten you out.
Yeah, for sure.
What was the reason for the expulsion? If you don't mind me asking. We don't have to go into it if you don't want to.
So it was, how it was explained to me, it was an accumulation of suspension days.
Oh.
So I got suspended too many times, or for too many days. I think.
So it's a technicality. So it's not you doing something. Okay.
Well, the last suspension was for a fight, but yeah, I think I think you're only allowed like 10 suspension days in a school year. Or I don't know.
10? Oh, I guess they usually, when they suspend you, it's like 5 days already. So it's like, you're suspended for the week.
Yeah, depending on what you get suspended for. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You can get suspended for 1 to 5 days.
Yeah. And you hit that 10 mark.
I hit the 10 mark, yeah.
Wow. Damn. Okay, so that led you to join. So you graduated high school.
Yeah, I went back and graduated. I graduated from South Campus in 2009. Yeah.
And then jumped right into.
And pretty much immediately. So I graduated in June. I left to the military, or to the Marine Corps, in August 2009.
When did you make your mind that you were going to the Marines? Like, I know, obviously, in high school, but were you about to graduate? Did the recruiter, your soccer coach told you join the Marines, and was that it? Just, okay, I'm joining the Marines? Was there more thought into this prior to that? Before I went back to South Campus, I had already started talking to a recruiter, but then, like you said earlier today, it's a scary decision, right? So between maybe October of 2008 and March of 2009, I kind of tried to talk myself out of it, or kind of pussy out,
Yeah. I would have.
Can I say that? Shit. Yeah. Are you guys gonna bleep it?
No.
Okay.
Your kid's gonna listen?
So, you know, I
Mommy,
try,
Daddy said this.
so, I try to like punk out, but my coach didn't let me. He's like, no, you need to do this. And I was like, fuck, all right.
Well, yeah, dude, he was going to get a bonus for fucking recruiting you, dude. Come on. No, you can't quit, bro.
No, he had already been out for a long time, so no, he wouldn't get a bonus. So I ended up going to MEPS in March of 2009, and yeah,
What's MAPS? Is that kind of like basic training?
it's like the enlistment process, kind of like you go to Sacramento, you do like some pull-ups, some fucking little exercises. They weigh you, they make sure you're not colorblind and stuff.
Damn, Mario, you wouldn't be able to make it, dude.
Sorry, Mario.
It keeps getting brought up, dude. We don't do this. We don't do this. I promise you, dude.
Mario's gonna come up soon.
Nah, he'll have a time to redeem himself, and hey, maybe we'll I don't know, get him some when he comes to podcast, dude.
We'll have a colorblind test.
Yeah. Oh, I was gonna say let's get him some sunglasses so he can actually see color, bro.
They do have like these cool little books that have a bunch of spots on them, right? And
I have seen him. I have seen him. So it's kind of like a colorblind test, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, hey, what number's inside this circle, and it's all different bubbles and shit.
Yeah.
I think I did that on TikTok one time, and I sent it to him. He's like, what the fuck am I looking at? I'm like, fool, there's numbers in there. Shut the fuck up. I'm like, yes.
I can't wait to tell that pilot story, man. That's a good story.
We got time.
He's from Pilot also?
No, he's from Pilot also.
I know someone that worked at Pilot too.
Oh, worked at Pilot?
I don't know. What if you have him on your podcast next? I know he works at a dispensary now.
Oh, Roman.
Yeah, Roman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have some.
Actually, we're thinking about freaking bringing him on the podcast.
Yeah?
Dude, so,
Yeah.
Because, Roman was cool as fuck, dude.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, that dude still looks 25, dude.
Does he? I
Bro,
haven't seen him.
so
So
my God,
I
dude.
fought him when he was 26. He was 26. I was 17. So Roman, if you're listening to this, I was 17. I could press charges. But I'm not.
What led to the fight? What led to the fight?
He hit my little brother. You know?
Fucking
Yeah.
Roman, dude.
26 hitting the little... No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
No, wait. He was 17. It's his little brother. A
Yeah.
26-year-old is hitting
A 16-year-old, yeah. It's all good. You know, in all honesty, we probably deserved it, right? We were bad kids. But
fucking hooligans.
All right, so we're gonna bring it back. So, what was your job in the Marine Corps?
I was a helicopter mechanic.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. Don't say ooh though. It's not really that interesting.
He's like, I put oil on the fucking thing.
Yeah, it was. You're not really fixing anything. It's just more if something breaks, you take it out and put a new one in. Right? Not very efficient.
No way.
Yeah, so
What?
you're not really fixing anything. You're more removing and replacing.
Dude, I've heard this, dude. Like semi-truck places now too. I would go in like when I worked for a different company that I'm at now. I would go in like, hey, just in case you guys replaced it. I'm like, there's no replacing or there's no fixing.
Yeah.
All we do is replace new and old. I'm like, the old from the new. I'm like, wait, what do you mean? You guys are a mechanic shop. They're like, no, we don't do anything anymore, man. He's like, we grab the old one and we put a new part in. That's it.
Yeah.
Oh, like, whoa. So it's not like the way it used to be before, man.
No, for sure. Yeah, you just a motor breaks, pull it out, put a new one in.
Wow.
Yeah, it's not very efficient, huh?
That's our money going.
That's
to
our
work,
tax
man.
dollars.
Yeah, dude.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's fine as long as we win. So you I guess we fixed helicopters.
Yeah.
I know I've heard you, and I witnessed this, but helicopters have flown over us, and you're like, that is a blah 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
You could tell what kind of helicopter it is.
So, a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, I could, by just the sound of the blades.
I was going to ask you that if it was by sound, dude.
Yeah.
You don't even look up.
Yeah, I can more or less tell what kind of helicopter it is. Now I don't think I could.
That's pretty crazy though, dude.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Did you get to ride in the helicopter?
I did.
Yeah.
So, cool story. One time we were in Yuma, Arizona. Have you guys ever been there?
No.
It's a horrible fucking place. Don't go there. It's like 9 in the morning, right? So all your work has to be pretty much done at night, because once it hits like 8 a.m., everyone comes into the shop and like no one goes outside. But a helicopter had to have blades replaced, the propeller, right? And whenever they do that, it needs to test for vibrations. So the pilot came in and he's like, hey, I need someone to fly in the front seat while I test the bird. We call them birds, the helicopters. And I was like, oh, I'll go, So we flew over the Colorado River
Oh,
And he's like, hey, let's fly over the river, see if we see any boobies, you know, because I guess the girls would flash them, right?
like Havasu and shit.
What?
Yeah, the girls, whoever was in the river, you guys might want to clip this out, you know, that's kind of misogynistic.
No.
Yeah.
We're not big enough to get canceled yet, dude.
Don't worry.
No, that's kind of cool though. But
Did you get flashed?
No, we didn't see anyone.
Oh,
Yeah.
so stupid question, but does the Colorado River run through Arizona, or did you guys fly all the way to Colorado?
To be honest, I have no fucking clue. I just remember the captain telling me like, hey, you know, we're over the Colorado River right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Captain Calico. If he's listening one day, yeah.
How low do you have to go to
See titties.
see boobies?
I have no clue. Dude, how old was I? I was maybe 19 at the time. So I was pretty dumb.
You flew the helicopter?
He let me take controls. He did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Not for long. And I'm sure he was still holding them just to make sure I didn't fucking crash.
Oh, so do all helicopters have two controls, like one for the pilot and the co-pilot, or no?
So the bird I was in was a Cobra. They're skid birds. They don't have wheels. They have skids. You guys know what skids are, right? Yeah. Like
Yes, I think I they're like, yeah,
they're bars, pretty much.
Bars on the bottom, yeah.
Yeah, so it was a Cobra. So it's two seats in tandem, so one in front of the other.
Oh, okay,
Right?
okay.
And yeah, each seat has their own set of controls.
Oh, damn. Okay,
Neat.
that's
Neat,
cool.
neat. So you couldn't see him in the back.
I could not. I could. And there's a mirror, right? So you could see.
Oh,
in the back.
okay.
Gotcha.
No, I just I was kind of curious on how low you need to be for them to see titties, because
Yeah,
I'm
me
definitely
too.
lifting up my shirt next time for the fucking the ghetto bird in Fresno, dude. I'm like, yo, check these out, fucker.
There was a few birds last week, like around this time, which is what, 9 o'clock. Yeah,
Probably looking for someone. Some
no, they
crazy
were
stuff.
just heading north.
Yeah.
There was like,
To the fires, maybe.
no, I don't know. I don't know. I thought you knew. I
No.
wanted to ask you.
Yeah. Let me call.
Yeah,
Where the
Let me
fuck
call
are
it
you
in
guys
real
going?
quick. That shouldn't have been authorized. Let me call it in.
What's the environment like? I guess since we talk about jobs,
Mhm.
in that shop job that you were in as a helicopter mechanic sergeant.
So, as a sergeant, I was the shop foreman. Desk sergeant is what we're called in there, but pretty much you're a shop foreman. It's stressful, man. It's very stressful. You got to think that these aircraft are worth millions upon millions of dollars, and you're in charge of making sure they don't fall out of the sky, right? So it's a little stressful, but there was also not a single day that I was in the Marine Corps that I didn't laugh, right? Like you end up building, I guess, a very close bond with the people that you're serving with. Yeah, I still talk to a lot of the people I served with.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you guys are all there for that same reason, you know?
Yeah.
Something brought you guys all there together. So it's like, I think that's the camaraderie.
The camaraderie, for sure.
That's pretty badass. I got one question. And for somebody that's kind of like leaning towards going to the, you know, whether it's Army, Navy, I mean, would you give them that advice to like, hey, give it a try, go? Or would you say try another route?
I think that is definitely not for everyone. For sure. I don't think it's for everyone. But if you make up your mind that you want to do it, it's for sure I thought it was a great experience. It gave me a lot of advantages that I know a lot of people that did not go to the military didn't have. For example, I was able to buy my house at 23, right? I was 23 when I bought my house.
That's fucking awesome, dude.
I went and did my bachelor's degree for free. I didn't have to pay a dime. I did my master's almost completely free also.
No way, really?
Yeah. It definitely sets you up for sure. I don't regret it at all.
It's crazy.
Even though I hated my job, I don't regret going to the military one bit.
It sounds like, I mean, you made an experience definitely worth it, and you got a lot out of it. Because I mean, dude,
Yeah.
to get as much as you did out, because a lot of people just go and they're like, oh, hey, I did my time and that was it. They don't take advantage of anything that they actually have to offer. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. The military does offer a lot to the people that are willing to put in the time. And yeah, if there's anyone listening that wants to go that route, just make sure you take advantage of everything. You can go to school while you're in the military completely free using tuition assistance, right? So you just got to take advantage of the opportunities for sure.
You ever go overseas or?
No, I didn't. I did not. So I was in the Marine Corps, and I got out. I didn't go a single time overseas. So when I got out, I joined the reserve, because my brother told me, like, hey man, you know, sometimes the reserve goes overseas more often than active duty. And then I joined the reserves, and they ended up becoming a training unit, so I didn't get to go.
Damn.
Yeah, and my brother went 3 times.
Oh,
Yeah.
Overseas?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
shit.
He's been to Iraq, Afghanistan, wherever Petra is at. Do you guys know where Petra is?
no,
at?
I've never heard of Petra.
These cool fucking monuments carved into the mountain, pretty much.
Wow.
Wherever that's at, he was there too.
Oh, damn. That's fucking
So-
awesome.
And this is your younger brother?
Yeah, my younger brother, the one that Roman socked.
Damn it.
Roman.
Damn.
Did your brother follow your footsteps, or did he want to do that prior?
I don't think he wanted to do it, but again, he was also getting into a lot of trouble, and I kind of peer pressured him into going.
If I got to do this, you got to do this too, fool.
Yeah, well, he's still in, so he likes it.
Oh, shit.
he's
Yeah,
still in?
yeah,
Okay.
he's still in. He trains people on how to jump out of planes. So he's an
dude.
instructor. Yeah,
What?
Hey, we got to get him to send us a video, man.
yeah.
Could you
for
get
sure?
get
I
us a
could get a
video
video.
of that? Yeah, that'd be pretty neat.
That's badass, dude.
Yeah.
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 Hey, well, hey, I just want to say before this, not that we're ending it or anything, but thanks for your service, man. I know
Thank you.
you probably, I didn't do shit, or I
Yeah.
didn't go overseas, dude. It takes a lot to just fucking sign that piece of paper, dude. So,
No, thank you.
It sure
Appreciate
does.
it. And that is exactly what I thought. And that's exactly what I still think when people say, like, I don't really do shit, man, but thank you.
Yeah. I mean, like Ed said, it does take a lot to just sign that paper and stick it out for those 4 years. So yeah, absolutely, man. Thank you for that.
and take advantage of the military discount anywhere you go, bro. Fuck that, bro.
Yeah.
You risk your life, dude. Get that fucking military discount, man.
I have one more question, and it's more of a story that I kind of forgot, but I hope you remember.
Mm-hmm.
It's about the time in the Marines
Mm-hmm.
when you were in that helicopter shop, or I imagine this big old shop.
Mm-hmm. It is a big hangar, but then there's little rooms in it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It was your superior that told you something one time. And he said, please, I hope you remember. He said, Toro, everybody's replaceable or something like that. I don't know if you remember.
Oh, yes. Yes. So
You said, if I remember correctly, and I'm sorry if I'm watching this, but you said he was a dick.
Mm-hmm.
So there's 2-part question. So I want to know what he told you,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'll ask you a question.
All right. So I may have or may have not talked back to him or said something like rude to him. And he called me into his office, right? Into the little corner office that they have. And he told me, like, hey, you wouldn't have done that before you knew you were getting out, so don't do it now. Go ahead and take off. They pretty much gave me half days or
Oh, shit.
until I got out of the military. I think I had like a week left. And he's like, just don't forget, everyone's replaceable. Like tomorrow you're gone, but the shop's going to keep going. It's not like we're going to stop working on these helicopters because you're gone.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
And did that was that a lesson, or was
Oh, for sure. And it is that way, right? Especially in the real world, right? Like if I leave where I'm at right now, like they're going to look for someone to replace me immediately. I think it also taught me that I guess you kind of have to be a little selfish, right? You have to, especially when it comes to your career, you have to do what's best for you, because really no one else is going to look out for you, right?
It's funny that you say that, because a lot of us think we're thinking for the company's best interest, but the company's never looking for your best interest, because at the end of the day, that job is going to get filled
Yeah.
with or without you.
Yes, sir.
And
Yeah.
that's crazy that he told you. Hey, so when he kind of not reprimanded you, but when he brought you into his office, did you realize, like, hey, it is because I'm leaving? Did you realize, like, hey, that my response was because tied to you leaving?
I might have got a little brave for sure, because I know I was leaving. I was like, what are they going to do to me now? Yeah. So for sure. Yeah. It maybe it's wrong, right? It probably is wrong. But again, I was 23. What do you know about life at 23?
True. Exactly.
Yeah. Is there another thing, a lesson that person that you learned from that person? Like, is there something else that you learned from him that maybe then you were like, as a 23-year-old, you're like, this motherfucker. But now as an older, person, that you think back and you're like, damn it, this motherfucker was right or whatever. Maybe, yes, no.
Not really him. I want to say, wow. He wasn't really a superior. He was more of a peer. We were pretty much the same rank. He didn't really like the way I dressed, right? Like, I would wear Dickie shorts and like plain color t-shirts, right?
To work?
And no. Like, whenever we would go out.
Oh,
okay. And he's like, man, you got to stop dressing like that, And he's the one that kind of put me on game on, how to dress a little more like a grown up. Yeah. So I think that one was an important part of my life too. 'Cause you can't keep dressing like a kid when,
It's true.
you're trying to get these good jobs.
Is it because you didn't have like I don't want to say father figure, but like being in the Army, I mean, you guys have to rely on one, or not Army, but Marines. Mm-hmm. You guys have to rely on one another, right? So was that kind of like a moment where it's like, oh, damn, he's right? Like, you had to kind of take it in?
Yes, especially because it came from a peer, right? Because I think my dad and my soccer coach, the one that convinced me to go, would always tell me like, hey, man, you dress like a hoodlum, right? You can't dress like that. Or don't dress like that. That doesn't make you, it's not flattering to you. But you always think like, it's my dad. He's supposed to tell me that, right? Or it's my soccer coach. Of course he's going to tell me. He's an adult. But when it comes from a peer, I think it hits different.
Yeah. Because they're not there to bash you or anything. They're there to kind of help you out, right?
Yeah.
It's like, hey, do you not realize that? Or it's kind of cool, man.
Gotcha. Yeah. Any final thoughts?
I'm good. I think I everything that I wanted to ask, I got off my chest. So thanks.
Yeah. Likewise. Appreciate you being here today, taking your time on a Thursday night after you're coaching your daughter's team. So appreciate that.
I canceled practice.
You canceled practice?
Yeah. The air quality was horrible, man.
Oh, we could have done this at 5?
Yes, and I was going to text you like, hey, Danny, do you want to do it earlier? But I was like, maybe they were already set up to do it at 8, So
it's all right, buddy. I love being up at 9 o'clock at night.
No, it's definitely late. Oh, shit, it's 9:30. Oh, that's not bad. An hour and 30 minutes.
No, we're good, dude.
No. Again, thank you very much.
Yes,
appreciate you being here. Thank you for being the person who you are.
Thank you.
Thank you for telling us your story. And yeah.
Well, thank you guys for having me. It was a good conversation.
It was a pleasure having you, man. Everyone, thank you for listening to episode, I think I always keep messing up, 8, right?
This is 8.
All right, episode 8, guys. Please feel free, subscribe, whatever platform you're listening on. And feel free to reach out to us on social media or Instagram. If you guys got somebody that you guys want to bring on here, if you guys have, any suggestions or questions for our future or previous guests. But since, we have a vet here, I want to leave the podcast with a little something. So, everyone. Not with an ad, though. Sorry, guys.
Wow.
Sorry, I should have put the ad.
I'll stall it.
Okay, go for it.
I'll say we're on Spotify. We are on YouTube, and then
Apple, Amazon, and I think that's it.
Yeah. So
those are the main 4. But guys, we'll leave you guys with this. Thank you for listening.
Huh?
Danny, your Wi-Fi, dude.
My Wi-Fi is pretty good.
Oh, there we go.
Oh. Those gunshots?
It's not America without gunshots, dude.
Bam, bam.